Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Transformers, Titans Return, Leader Class, Decepticon Revolver, and Six Shot. So, right off the bat, I'm going to have to do this review a little bit differently than I do for other reviews. The thing about Six Shot is he is a six changer. He has 6 separate alternate modes. And rather than just choosing one of the forms and just going through, starting from that one alternate form, going to his robot form, I figured we should start in the robot mode and then transform to the first mode I'm actually going to talk about, then continue on the way I normally would. I'll quickly go over Revolver and Six Shot's accessories, but we'll talk about his actual robot mode once we get back to the robot mode at the end of the review. But speaking of that, taking a closer look at his partner Revolver. Six Shot was a barely noticed character in the American version of the cartoon, of the G1 cartoon, but he did appear in the Headmasters anime a fair bit, and this character is based on a character named Jack, which is a character he didn't direct, if I remember correctly, he didn't kill Jack, but he made it happen that Jack died by Chrome Dome's hands, and he was best friends with Chrome Dome. So Six Shot's fault is his death. So, and now that guy that he was responsible for killing makes up his head, which is weird, but okay, Japan. Okay, references. I'm not sure if that would be Takara or Hasbro's fault for that. So I don't know. But anyway, looking at Jack, he's pretty nice. He's got white legs, green chest, a very nice molded chest armor, and very nice arms going on under here. It's not the same bulky arms, but like actually like arms with large panels on top of them. And then a very nice head, though it's all in green, but you can tell there are eyes, a nose, and a mouth on that very nice head of his. All the details are there and very nice. And then there is Six Shot's face on his back with kanji that reads 6 because it's Six Shot, get it? And also he's called Revolver instead of Jack because he had a revolver gun would hold 6 shots. Get it? Get it? Anyway, enough with the 6 puns. Onto articulation. His head can rotate a full 360 degrees. His arms can bend that far forward and that far back and are able to only bend that far out to the side. Legs are able to bend that far forward and that far back, and the knees are able to bend that far back and that far forward. And to transform, you just collapse him in half. There he is in his head mode. This head mode is able to interact with Six Shot. Just open that panel, stick him on in, and there you go. You got him with his head and Six Shot's body. And we'll go over that more in detail. And but no, before we really get into transformation, Revolver is capable of staying in the helmet throughout the entirety of the transformation. The helmet just kind of stores in the chest gap there, and you can just leave him in there if you just don't want to acknowledge that Six Shot's actually a Headmaster, or a Titan Master, I should say. That's fine. You can also take him out and use him as for the other modes, and that's what I'm going to do to show off how he interacts with those other modes. Another note, paint on Six Shot's face on Revolver's Six Shot face is painted white, while his legs are just molded, so like he's got 2 different whites going on in his body, which is unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? It also doesn't match too well when you stick him in the white helmet with the unpainted white and the painted white, but that is what it is. And again, before we get to transforming, going over his accessories, he comes with these 2 guns. Fairly accurate to his G1 ones. Got a couple of gaps though that fit Titan Masters. So there are just 2 Titan Master ports there. 2 holes at the bottom of the feet. Just plug them in, get them in a sitting position, and there you go. You got Revolver riding this giant double-barreled gun skiff kind of a thing. We'll go over to more on how these work and other modes once we get to transformation, but now it is time to get Six Shot transformed into his first alternate mode, his car mode. So, to do that, we are going to come up here. We're going to open this panel. We're going to fold these wings in, like so. And then we're going to fold the helmet into the chest. Again, nothing preventing Revolver from storing in there during transformation. Just fold the wings. You're going to want to get these wings into these slots on Six Shot's chest, so you're going to collapse that in perfectly. And then you'll come over here, fold the fists up, get the arms out of the way, because we're going to come down here. We're going to fold the feet up, fold the feet up, rotate the leg out, flip this part out, rotate the leg out, flip this part out. These don't really need to fold out during the transformation, but I, at the very least, find that it helps with the transforming to fold these pieces out. And then we're gonna untab Six Shot's lower leg from this section right here. These bits fit into grooves on Six Shot's legs. And you're just gonna fold them up like so. There's gonna be something's gonna tab. I'm not exactly sure where that tabbing is, but you will know it is in the correct place when it kind of locks in. And there's gonna be a few tabs, slots, tab, slot, about these sections that are gonna allow them to tab together, like so. We will rotate him over. We'll fold these together. And then the best way to get these to collapse together is to fold them on top of each other, and that they will sit flush on the front of the car like that. Then we'll come over here. We will extend the arms down, fold the arms down, extend the lower arm down, and then this tab will go into that slot right there. It's gonna hold like that. Do that on the other side, like so. Fold these sections down, they will tab in. This tab will go into that slot right there. And flip these sections forward, and lowering the camera a bit, there you have Six Shot in his car mode. You've seen this in my comparisons on, if you watched any of my other reviews, you will have seen this form used for comparisons. It's a big, boxy thing. Very large, very long, very wide, not very tall. We'll get into some more taller configurations in a bit here. It is a very nice mix of Six Shot's colors. You got a lot of black going on the front, fair bit of purple, a little bit of stickering going on here with the yellow stripe and tiny Decepticon symbols in there on both sides. A little bit of silver to pretend that this is an actual like car front, even though we'll get into why these gaps are here. You got some nice white and green going on the sides. You got the black wheels that roll. You got treads just hanging out on the sides. These silver wings kind of covering things. You got an extra cockpit back here, not used for this alt mode. Forgot one thing to do for the transformation. This is apparently part of the transformation as well. I don't tend to leave it up. I don't particularly care for it, but this is a finish. In some photos I've seen of official stock images, that's part of the transformation. And there's really nothing else that this would be for, so I'm going to leave this up for now. And then you got this molded detail in there. Just nice silver wings, a little bit of painted green, a little bit of green on these nicely silver painted wings. And then you just got the back of the car mode. For Time Master interactivity, you got these two gaps right here where the passenger seats or the driver's seat would be. And you actually gotta bend his arms forward like so. And then just tab them in, and then you got Revolver riding in one seat, and you can completely fit another Time Master right there. Like I said, you can fit someone in there, but that's not used for this mode. You got Time Master port right there, one right there, one right there, one right there, another one there, and another one there. And those seem to be all the Time Master ports, really accessible and usable in this alternate mode. Like I said, 4 wheels, so that means it does in fact roll. And then for the weapons, you can come up here. There are 2 circles right here on these silver sections, so you can plug them in. Actually, if I remember correctly, they go on like that. That kind of configuration. Which is unfortunate because there's a lot of gaps on this top side of the guns, but that's all. You are capable of using these tabs. But if I remember correctly, again, it's been a while, there's a lot of different things you can do with this toy. I do not believe that's the appropriate orientation for the guns. I do believe that they are supposed to be laying flat, like more flat like that, with these tabs sticking out to the side. Again, if I recall correctly, someone let me know if I am in fact wrong on that. But I mean, you give the car mode a nice armored up look by doing that. And now we can get into some size comparisons for this form. So here he is next to Legends Class Bumblebee. See how that scales. And I just untabbed his one side of the car mode. Deluxe Class Chrome Dome. See how that scales. Voyager Megatron. See how that scales. And the one reuse of the 6-shot mold in the Titan's Return toy line, Leader Class Quick Switch, which we'll talk about at a later point in time. And you can see that they are the same size because they are the same mold. I will be leaving Quick Switch in his car mode, so as you can see the standard scaling with 6 shots, other alternate configurations. But that is all there is to say on the car mode. So now we're going to roll along to his second configuration, his tank mode. So we're going to fold the wing. Actually, we are going to leave the wings down. We are leaving the wings down for this configuration. So what's going to happen is we're going to untab these from the sides. I'm going to fold this section forward. I'm going to rotate this around and leave this extended. And then we're going to come over to the side and fold this down and have this tread be at the bottom. And then rotate this section forward like that so the wheel is like parallel to the ground. And we're just going to leave it there. It doesn't tab into anything, so it's just going to sit there. Do the same with the other side. Untab, rotate, leave extended, flip, treads down, rotate the wheel around. Excellent. And let's just get the wings out of the way while we work on this back section here. We are going to untab the legs, the robot legs, or the front of the car. We're going to extend them. We're not going to tab them in, and we're just going to leave those sections out, which are going to be guns for this form. Well, they are guns, but in this form they are being used as guns. And we're going to rotate them around like this, and we're just going to fold them up like so. We can close them out now. Fold them up like so. Try to see if you can get them up like that. Just get them parallel and even with each other. They don't tab into anything, so just get them even. Put the legs back and pull the wings back. And then we'll come here, we'll take the guns, and we will tab them on the sides like so. Actually, that's wrong. This tab right here goes into that slot right here, and the guns actually tab in like that. And then do that to the other side like that. And there you have 6-shot in his tank mode. And there's a big, beefy, futuristic tank mode. Legs being the whole turret part are kind of weird, and also the fact that they don't tab in together is unfortunate. Despite this being like... Sorry for the interruption. I got a phone call and that just completely stopped the recording. What are you gonna do? But anyway, like I was saying, despite how bulky and massive the tank mode is, nothing is really tabbed in anywhere. Like the treads just like are loose on the side, there's kind of a connection up here, but that's pretty much all that's holding them from keeping them from moving out into a crazy amount of places. The legs are completely independent, and they while it allows them to move independently, that doesn't seem doing that doesn't kind of feel right just because of how big and boxy it is. I always thought like they were connected and would be like one solid thing if you wanted to move it about. But no, that's not tabbed in either. Like, and those are like the main parts of the tank, and they're not connected to anything. And that's slightly unfortunate in my opinion. If they were tabbed in together or something, that'd make that a lot more solid. But what is nice about this tank mode is that it does roll very, very well. If you come to the underside, you got a wheel right there, a wheel right there, and a wheel right there. And that permits it to roll. Again, you can move these legs into whatever position you want because you got this joint right here, this joint right here, and another joint right there, as well as kind of some kind of sliding joint. So you kind of got 4 joints in the legs of the turret. I don't even know what to describe it. It's just the legs. 4 joints in the legs to use to get this into various positions. Maybe 3. Maybe this actually does lock into place up here. No, that's just a very tight ratchet. I didn't think it actually locked in there. I would have been very surprised and kind of would have contradicted my point I made before. Yeah, it's just a tight joint keeping that fairly stable. But definitely the other 3 joints, a lot of playability, and then you can use the hip joint as well, and that's the 4th joint for Time Master interactivity. Time Master port there, 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 and there. So the same 6 ones that were available in the car mode are still available in this one. And for Titan Master sitting, you open this cockpit, you get your Titan Master into an appropriate seating position, and you actually gotta, let's get the legs out of the way. If you can see, there's the gap for the back of the Time Master legs is all the way forward, so you kind of gotta slide them through to get them into position. Then you can close the canopy, and there you got Revolver riding 6-shot in his tank mode. I will pull him out and correctly orient his head. Another thing, a thing of note, in various instructions, since these grooves are here that allow connectivity with other leader class base modes as well as Titan class base modes, this form seems to be considered to be the base mode. It's not a base, it's a giant tank, or you can assume it's some kind of artillery platform or something. But this is basically the form you would use to connect to the other forms, and this is the most convenient, the form with the most accessibility to these. The car mode's probably second, or at the very least, most accessibility that like kind of makes sense. But anyway, that's pretty much all there is on the tank mode. You got the green up at the front, you got white on the sides, a little bit of red, the black treads being very nicely painted. Again, the white translucent cockpit. Only other bit of white paint is right here on the cockpit, which again doesn't match with the regular white. You got the purple and you got the black one, you got the black guns, you got the white guns, and then you just got this giant back section with fists sticking out, and then underside. That's all for tank mode, so time for size comparisons. Bumblebee. See how that looks. Chrome Dome. There. Megatron. There. And Quick Switch. And definitely smaller in terms of width and length, but definitely taller in terms of height. So, now we're done with the tank mode. Let's roll right along to his jet mode. So, off to the side again. Guns come off. Move the camera a little bit. So, we're going to take these sections, fold them back, fold these wings out to the side. We're basically going to put them back into the car configuration, folding them out and making sure they tab in properly. Collapse that, make sure everything fits correctly. Fold these guns on top of each other, not like that, on top of each other and together. And then this is where it's going to get different with this section. We'll flip this over at this point. We're going to fold these sections out and rotate this triangular piece around. We'll do the same on the other side. Rotate that around. There you go. You got the front of the jet going on. Then you're going to come back here. Rotate. Actually, we're going to get the wings out of the way because we got to rotate the arms around. So we're going to rotate the arms like this, and then flip this section like that. Have that be there. And then we're going to rotate this like so, and just collapse it down the most compressed way possible. Do the same on the other side. Move this around, fold this around, rotate, collapse, rotate. And we'll come down here, flip the wings out. They will tab in very securely. Tab in very securely like they did on the other modes. You'll come over here, flip this panel up, flip these smaller wings out, and then we'll come here and take the guns and use that same tab you used for the tank mode and stick them on the the slots that you use in tank mode, and tab them to the tabs on the ends of the wings. And like so. And there you have Six Shot in his jet mode. And that is very, very nice. Oh, technically, we're going to come here, flip this out, flip this around, and leave that down, and just have the helmet sticking out. And now I will explain why that has to be in a moment. And very large, very jet mode. Nothing to stand on. No. Oh wait, sorry. It does have a landing gear. I forgot. I almost forgot. It's got a landing gear. It's stuck between these sections right here, but you can flip that down so he is actually able to stand up in his jet mode. It looks very good. It looks very, very good. I can't believe I forgot about the landing gear, but granted, I don't put him in this configuration often. It's a bit of an awkward jet, however. Like aesthetically, with how the rest of the shot works, like it looks good, but then you start looking closer at it, and then it's starting to get weird. I mean, you got this long section up the front, a lot of black, a lot of silver paint, a lot of purple around, a bit of yellow peeking out of the side, nice silver section up at the front right here, and this is the point where we get to start talking about how weird this looks, because look how low the wings are compared to the rest of the body. That I don't think that's good aerodynamics. Granted, I'm not an aerodynamics person or engineer or whatever, but that doesn't seem good aerodynamics. Just a comment. It's so weird. And then we got this little small cockpit up here. A bit of green picking out. We got Six Shot's chest. His head sticking out. And we just got the arms with the car wheels and tank treads sticking out on the sides, and that's I guess these can be boosters. I guess the fists are supposed to be like the jet thrusters or whatever, but that's still weird. The tiny wings, the tiny black wings up here are pretty nice though, and the landing gear definitely does its job in making sure Six Shot actually stands up. As for Titan Master, though, again, the guns on the sides of the wings are also very awkward and probably not that aerodynamic. But speaking of the wings, now that we're looking at this side of the wings, you see some nice green paint, some nice purple and silver stickers going on. And this is what they could have done with Starscream. Look at, like, even though that's a sticker, that still matches fairly nicely with the rest of the silver on the wings, and not like the gray to silver. That just looks terrible. This looks acceptable. I'd prefer tampograpphs, but that's acceptable. Anyway, for Titan Master interactivity, there's these are new Titan Master ports that are accessible. Those right there and right there. These ones that are on the arms are still accessible, and those seem to be about it for this configuration. As for Revolver, you flip this cockpit up with this translucent section right here, and you just kind of plop him in. He doesn't really really tab anywhere. He's just kind of more of a friction fit because he's a little loose in there. But you can see the translucent translucent, that's kind of foggy, that he does fit in there pretty nicely. But again, Six Shot's head has to be out of the way for that to work. So it's kind of just sticking up the back there for the time being. And now we're done with that. Time for some size comparisons. Again, here's Bumblebee. We're going to have to raise the camera up a lot for this guy. Can I actually get all of Six Shot on frame at once? Yes, I can. I'm stretching so hard, but I can. Chrome Dome. Next to Chrome Dome. I can't move the camera back any further, so I gotta just stretch really crazily. Megatron. Let's see if that works. And quick switch. And there you go. Definitely longer and definitely wider and not that much taller. It's just the wings that give him that little extra height over him. But now we are done with the jet mode. We can now move on to the submarine mode, and we'll explain why I call it the submarine mode in a moment if you aren't aware. So we're gonna open this cockpit, flip Six Shot's head back in, flip this around. I'm gonna leave it in this position because it's gonna help me with the fifth form after we get through the submarine configuration. We'll take the guns off. And then we're going to come back here to the front. We're going to fold these panels out and rotate them back into their appropriate position. Do the same with that side. Then we're going to come here. We're going to untab and unfold the guns. And we're going to extend them straight out as if we were putting them into the robot mode position. And tabbing them in and tab. But we're going to tab the legs together for this submarine mode and leave the guns pointed outward like that. And then we're going to come and we're going to lift this section up, and then you're going to notice on this wolf head neck here there's a tab right there, and that tab's got to fit that slot on the wing right there. So you kind of got to definitely, when I was first transforming this, I was having a hard time figuring out what the exact angle was for the wolf neck and the wings to be at so that it would fit, but this is the angle you want, so that all tabs in nicely. And then once you get the one, it's a lot easier to get that other one. And then you leave the arms. I'm trying to remember how the arms are positioned for this configuration. Yeah, it's this way. It's definitely this way. And then we'll collapse the landing gear down. And then for the guns, we're gonna tab them together. And then these slots here will fit in, these tabs will fit in the slots. Like so. And there you have Six Shot in his submarine mode. Definitely the most abstract version of the alternate modes. And again, very good reason for that, because Six Shot did not originally have an aquatic mode, but this is still a form Six Shot had, or a transformation pattern that he had, because his original toy, this was his gun mode. Now that makes less sense than him having a submarine mode, granted, but he still has, this is his gun mode. No molded trigger or anything, but this is a very solid handle that if you want this to be a gun mode, it can be. Though, for whatever reason, I've noticed that like this front section droops whenever I have it in this position. And also does so in the submarine mode as well. Just the front section doesn't seem to be able to hold the weight properly, but it does need to be extended to be appropriate. But enough with looking at that as a gun. Now let's pretend that this is actually a submarine. You got the black and purple all the way up the front. You got the guns up at the front with those guns pointed up forward, which makes more sense when it's a gun rather than a militarized submarine, I guess. You got the silver sticking up and being like the tower. And you got outside seating for the submarine mode. And then you just got the arms kind of sticking out there. I do not remember 100% if this is the actual correct position or not. It may be something more of this, but I cannot remember. And again, those don't tab in anywhere, so you can just do whatever you want with that, really. For Time Master interactivity, he can sit in these sections right here, in the gun right there. You can sit in the car mode seats right there. There is a Titan Master port right here that he can use to make it, and that like gives him a very nice like watching over position, and then he can just like crawl back into the main submarine, I guess, if he wants to. I think that makes a little more sense for his final form, the fifth configuration, with the final being the robot mode. Any other Titan Master ports? I don't think there are any other Titan Master ports available in this form. And that's all there is to say. It doesn't really do anything. I guess if you have the wheels oriented, you can get him to roll a little bit, but he's a submarine. He's not really supposed to roll. So, size comparisons. Bumblebee. Now this is going to be a pain to fit on the screen. Yep, not fitting on the screen at all. This is the best I can do. Here's Chrome Dome. There you go. Megatron. Whoops. If the arms were tabbing in together, would tab into something, they'd be better. There you go. Leader class quick switch. And there you go. All right, now to roll right along to his fifth form, his beast mode, his wolf mode. So guns come off. They will stay in this configuration for that, for the next transformation. And we're gonna come back here and split the legs. We're gonna orient them around, flip the guns up like that, rotate, flip up, retab, flip the foot down to that kind of an angle, and leave the back legs like so. We're gonna come around here, rotate this out like that, keep this tread out, come down here, extend the front leg, and flip these claws out. We're gonna do the same to the other side, rotate, extend, orient correctly, flip the claws out. And we're gonna come here, fold the wings down, untap and fold the wings down, orient the wings back a little bit, sorry if that was off camera, and fold beast mode, head down, and we'll come back here, and there are two weirdly shaped things right there that will fit into these holes right there. And then that's 6 shots tail for this mode. And yes, this is 6 shot in his wolf form. Why these legs aren't locking into place, now they are. Now we can go ahead and talk about the wolf mode, which is, oh goodness, they may have been stretching. They may have been trying to stretch a little bit for that one. Not as much as the submarine, but again, not what it was originally supposed to be. And a very nice beast mode head here. Very nice white, red eyes. Got a little bit of teeth action going on there. It's kind of like lost all of his teeth on his bottom row though, so it's a little like, hey, I lost my. He's just got gums on his lower jaws. I don't know. You got the nice silver wings sticking out, and you got the legs. You got the nice black claws. You got legs that are halfway to being robot legs. You just got to bend them back correctly. And you got this double-barreled tail gun, which is weird. And this is why when I transformed Six Shot's head back into the chest, I left it this way, because if not, there would be a huge gap, and this kind of mitigates, and the head being oriented this way mitigates that a little bit. So yeah, this being a beast mode, it does have articulation. The neck can go up and down. I already commented the jaw can move. It can move that far. It kind of breaks his jaw at that point. No rotation of any kind. The wings can bend and fold like so, so you can position the wings however you want to. Forward legs can rotate like that. They have a bicep. They're able to bend that far forward and only that far back. Toes can move that far down and that far up. You can rotate these around too. I do actually prefer the wheels being in that orientation, even though transformation instructions say that's the appropriate position. So I'm just going to leave them like that for the rest of the transformation. Back legs can move up and down. This is really their main joint, however, at this knee. So they can fold up, down, and they have the toe, which can go down and up. I guess the heels can bend too, but that's not really necessary. Those are just kind of sticking up there. And as for Titan Master interactivity, there is a post right there on the back of the wolf mode neck, so it can stand there. This is where I say this post makes just a bit more for this mode. If I can get him in, now he's it kind of looks like he's manning the tail guns, so that's kind of cool. Besides that, you can use these posts on the wings, so you can get a Titan Master that's standing at an angle, I guess, if you want. I don't know, but I think those are the ones that are really accessible in this configuration. Yeah, those are pretty much the ones accessible in this configuration. And one other thing you can do, you can take Six Shot's Revolver, turn him into his head mode, and just plant him inside the gap on the wolf head, and there he is integrated into his wolf mode. I thought he tabbed in, but it doesn't seem, yeah, he doesn't like really tab in. There's just enough of a gap that's not like it's really tabbing in, but like it holds and it's not difficult to get out. And it just fills up that gap, though this gap is kind of bad. And then of course the gaps on the backs of the legs exist. Yeah, well, that's all for wolf mode, so time for another round of size comparisons. Bumblebee. I'm not even gonna try to stand him up for this form. Chrome Dome. You can see that. Megatron. Got that. And quick switch. And you've got that. So that's all there is to say on his wolf mode. So now let's get to his final mode, his robot mode. So remove revolver. I said this was easy. Apparently I did something wrong. Nope, there we go. Here it goes. So, robot mode. Take the tail off. Straighten out the legs. Put the legs, feet down. We're done with the legs. Yay. Arms, rotate them down. Rotate those out. Rotate the treads to the sides. Collapse the arms. Fold the claws in. Actually, do not rotate and flip the fists out. Fold down. Rotate. Fold that back. Fold that up. Fold that down. Collapse that back. Fold the wings up. Move them into the proper orientation. Come here. Unfurl the wings. Flip the head up. Rotate the head. Collapse the chest. Open the head. Stick revolver in there. And there you have Six Shot in his robot mode, and is a very tall, boxy robot mode. I didn't mention it before this point in the review, but this is definitely one of those G1 with articulation toys. Not a whole lot more articulation, just because he had a fair amount, kind of had to have a fair amount of articulation to get the alt modes, if I understand it correctly. I never owned the original Six Shot, so tell me if I'm wrong. But if I understand correctly, the original Six Shot had a fairly decent amount of articulation for the time, because of all the configurations he had to undergo. But yeah, I talked about most of his stuff. You got the green, you got the black, you got the white, you got some stickers going on this chest that I haven't talked about. You got Six Shot Revolver in his helmet, very nice faceplate, nice white eyes. Again, a little off because it's painted white instead of the plastic white, but oh well. Arms, crotch panels, black belly, black noodle knobs on his chest. Actually, I think those are translucent plastic knobs. Now come to think of it, looking at the lighting, it looks more like translucent plastic rather than painted black. A little bit of a right crotch right there, black upper legs, purple, silver painted lower legs, and a little bit of black feet going on there. And then you got the back. Pretty nice there. I think that if you don't get the head in right, the helmet will come over the eyes a little too much, so I kind of like to try to like lift the helmet up. So like you'll notice a bit of a gap on the sides here, but I think that works better for the face being in there. He is able to hold his guns like so, like so. I got them being wielded. You can store them on the back of the wings in here, like so, like so. Nice storage. Nice simple storage. He's got a little bit of double tail going on, but you know, maybe he's got coat tails. Maybe he's a sophisticated kind of ninja consultant. That was his Japanese description, ninja consultant. For articulation, I'll take the guns off. For articulation, his head can rotate a full 360 degrees and is actually able to bend, nod up and down a little bit. No like wiggle side to side, unfortunately. Wings are going to move out of the way, so we can show the arms can rotate a full 360. Bend that far out. Unfortunately, they cannot bend out due to how this section works. It's just a little weird, but it is able to bend only that far out at this point, but then a lot of stuff gets in the way. Bicep swivels all the way down here. I say all the way down here because it feels kind of low for this arm, though granted, it's probably because these shoulders are pretty large. And then he unfortunately gets only slightly less than 90 degrees. Though if you must transform, extend the lower arm, and then you get a full 90 degrees. Like that. But leaving it like that has his fist hanging down towards his knees, so you gotta shorten that up for the robot mode. Wrists, there's nothing at the wrist, they just fold in and out due to transformation. Nothing at the waist. These script panels are able to move out of the way so that the legs can bend that far forward on a very solid ratchet and only bend that far back due to these panels getting in the way. They are also able to bend that far out to the side. There is a thigh swivel all the way up there. 90 degrees of bend at the leg, and you can hear the knee click into place, which is very interesting since that doesn't really do anything for any of the other modes. Feet able to bend up, bend down, bend up, bend down. A lot of black on black, so apologies for the back camera. These can come down for a bit of a heel, but they're basically locked at solid points. It's not like you can really get it to like a middle place. Like that's the best middle place you can get. There's that position, and that position. That's all you're getting out of the heels. And then you also get some ankle tilt. However, like the heels, it's basically this or this. You really can't get an in between, and that's really unfortunate because like I would love if like I could get some positions with the ankles at that much of a tilt, but like if you fiddle with it too much, it's gonna collapse back into the position. Like if you try your darndest, you could probably do it, but it's it's really just designed for that and that, for the ankles. So that's a tad unfortunate. They put in the effort and then they made it not effective, unfortunately. But that is pretty much all there's to say on the robot mode. So now let's get into some robot mode size comparisons once I get Six Shot back enough. Yeah, size comparison time. Here he is next to Legends class Bumblebee, and Bumblebee comes up to his knees pretty much. Deluxe class Chrome Dome, and Chrome Dome comes up to about the bottom of the top third of his script panels right there. Leader class Megatron, and he just comes to the bottom of his chest wings. Leader class Quick Switch, and you can see they're the same size since they're the same mold. And of course, channel's mascots, Soundwave and Wheeljack, so you can see how he looks next to them. Yeah. Overall, not Quick Switch, that's later. Six Shot is a very neat figure for being able to bring back a toy from 1987 that no one thought we'd really see again in a modern toy line. That still is able to use all of his 6 modes and has all of his 6 modes, even if they had to rebrand one of them for stuff. I'm not exactly sure what to call that stuff, but it's stuff. Colors look nice. Some of the joints are tight. The knees particularly, however, are very loose, so that is problematic. Tiny Master interaction, however, is pretty neat across the board for all of the various modes. Heels, the ankle tilt is, again, problematic since it's pretty much 45 degrees. You can probably get it to different than 45 degrees and no degrees, but very annoying to do so. You can get him to look pretty cool, but unfortunately, leg articulation and the looseness of his knees kind of limits some of the poses, but he does look pretty nice. I'm pleased to have him in my collection, and very cool to have the first of the 3 Phase 6ers, as they are known in the IDW comics, in my reviewed and with me. So if you are interested, I would encourage taking a look at him if you want him. If you want him, maybe not necessarily full price, maybe a little less than full price, but he's still a pretty nice figure in my opinion. But that is all I have to say on Six Shot. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack's signing off.